Hello everyone, welcome back to Mr. Twilight channel, where we dive deep into cases of disappearances, crimes, and eerie locations. Today, I want to tell you about a famous disappearance case from 2014 in Panama involving two Dutch tourists, Kris Kremers at 21 age and Lisanne Froon at 22 age. What began as an exciting volunteer trip suddenly turned into a tragic mystery in the rainforests of Boquete. To this day, there are no definitive answers. Did they simply get lost? Was it an accident? Or were they attacked? Could there be a spiritual or supernatural element to this mysterious jungle? And what secrets lie within the final photos they took? I hope today's video will take you through every twist and turn of this case and the haunting mystery of the deep forest where these two young women vanished without a trace. Now, let's begin. Who were Kris Kremers and Lisanne Froon? Lisanne Froon, 22 years old, a recent psychology graduate, described as cheerful, energetic, passionate about sports, and adventurous. Kris Kremers, 21 years old, an art student known for being outgoing, creative, and sociable. Both lived in Amersfoort, a city in the Netherlands, and were close friends who shared a deep curiosity for the world. They had a strong desire to learn Spanish and dreamed of combining travel with volunteer work. At the beginning of 2014, Kris and Lisanne planned a trip to Boquete, a highland region in Panama, where they intended to teach Dutch or participate in volunteer activities with children. They also saw this as an opportunity to improve their Spanish, explore the wilderness, and experience an adventure. Excited for a vibrant summer ahead, they booked their tickets, packed their bags, and eagerly awaited their journey. Their families supported their plans, as Panama had gained popularity among backpackers in recent years for its stunning landscapes and rich nature. Arriving in Boquete, a smooth start, then disaster strikes according to their itinerary. Kris and Lisanne arrived in Boquete at the end of March 2014. They shared scenic photos on social media, expressing excitement and positive impressions. They also messaged their families in the Netherlands, saying, "We're about to start our volunteer work." Everything seemed to be going well. However, their volunteer program, teaching children, was unexpectedly delayed by a few days, possibly due to administrative or local arrangements. With extra free time, Kris and Lisanne decided to explore the Sinister Trail, a well-known remote rainforest hiking route famous for its stunning views. On the morning of April 2014, they left their hostel, reportedly carrying only a small backpack with minimal supplies and water. Some witnesses claimed they were accompanied by their host's dog or a local stray, though this detail remains debated. They expected to return by the afternoon. That evening, however, the dog returned alone. There was no sign of Kris or Lisanne. Their worried host tried calling and messaging them, but received no response. By the next day, April 2, their families were informed and the authorities were contacted. The case of the missing Dutch tourists had begun. A massive search effort and the mysterious backpack. On April 3, Panamanian police, local guides, and search dogs launched a rescue operation. About 10 days later, Kris and Lisanne's families arrived in Panama, bringing Dutch investigators in hopes of finding clues. Helicopters and drones scoured the dense Boquete rainforest, but there was no trace. No clothing, no belongings, no bodies. The Panamanian jungle was incredibly thick, with steep terrain, deep rivers, and unpredictable rain. The search was grueling, and after weeks with no leads, their families feared the worst. Had Had they been kidnapped? Were they lost? Were they still alive? Then, over 2 months later, a local woman made a chilling discovery. A blue backpack, later confirmed to belong to Lisanne, found near a river bank several kilometers from their suspected disappearance site. Strangely, the backpack was dry and intact, despite 2 months of harsh jungle weather. Inside, investigators found an iPhone 6 Kris's and a Samsung phone, Lisanne's, a Canon camera, a small amount of cash, sunglasses, and a bra. Oddly, the bag showed no mud, water damage, or major wear, despite weeks of rain and exposure. Had someone placed it there deliberately? Panamanian authorities were baffled. The case had only grown more mysterious. Decoding the phone and camera data, a review of the phone's call history revealed chilling details. On the evening of April 1, both Kris and Lisanne repeatedly dialed emergency numbers 112 Netherlands and 911 Panama. Due to poor signal, none of the calls connected, except for one brief connection, is 122 seconds to 911 before it cut off. From April 2 onward, Kris's iPhone, which required a PIN, showed multiple incorrect unlock attempts. Did someone else try to access it? Or was Kris in distress, entering the wrong code? On April 6, the iPhone was turned on for the last time, but it shut off after just 1 second. It was never used again. Meanwhile, Lisanne's Samsung phone was running low on battery and was used only sporadically. A shocking discovery. The camera photos, investigators then examined Lisanne's Canon camera, uncovering 90 nighttime photos taken on April 8, between 1:34 a.m., a full 7 days after they went missing. Most images were pitch black or showed trees, rocks, and jungle paths illuminated by a camera flash. One photo was particularly disturbing. It showed the back of Kris's head, seemingly injured and possibly bleeding. Other images appeared to be flashes of the trail, as if someone was using the camera to navigate the darkness or signal for help. This discovery sparked countless theories. Were Kris and Lisanne still alive on April 8? Or was someone else holding the camera by then? Why take photos in the middle of the night? Were they trying to create a distress signal? Did someone try to delete evidence but miss some photos? Rumors swirled online, including claims of a gruesome image showing a severed foot or torn skin. However, police only confirmed that most images depicted darkness, rocks, and branches. The mystery deepened. Something terribly wrong had happened in the jungle that night. Scattered bones discovered. Were Kris and Lisanne dead? Following the discovery of the backpack, search teams combed the area along the river. By late June 2014, they made a grim discovery. A shoe believed to be Lisanne's, with a decomposed foot still inside, a pelvic bone and several small bone fragments. DNA testing confirmed that the remains belonged to Kris Kremers Lisanne Froon. The bones were scattered across a wide area. Did the fast-flowing river carry their bodies downstream? Investigators examined the bones for cut marks, but found no clear evidence of knife wounds or animal bites. While Panama's jungle has scavenger animals, the rapid decomposition was attributed to a humid tropical climate. The result? No definitive cause of death. Kris and Lisanne's families were devastated. They had hoped for clear answers, but the fragmented remains offered little closure. The investigation slowly settled on a vague conclusion: cause of death undetermined. Crime theory: were they attacked and killed? Some travelers warned that Boquet wasn't entirely safe. Criminals had been known to rob, assault, or lure tourists into remote areas. Could Kris and Lisanne have fallen victim to foul play? Rumors circulated online, pointing to one or two local suspects, an ominous traveler or a shady tour guide. However, Panamanian police never arrested anyone. The backpack's sudden appearance 2 months later raised suspicions. Was it deliberately placed to steer the investigation? Or had someone panicked and disposed of evidence? The nighttime photos fueled speculation. Some believed Kris might have been restrained or injured, based on possible hair or wound glimpses in certain images. However, both Dutch and Panamanian police found no concrete proof of violence. Kris's family feared a brutal crime. But with no fingerprints, no confirmed bloodstains, and no visible weapon marks, there was no solid evidence of murder, just disturbing possibilities. To this day, the foul play theory remains plausible, but unproven. Accidental death theory, a failed rescue attempt. From a scientific perspective, the Pioneer Trail starts as a clear path but becomes treacherous beyond the marked route. Without a guide, hikers can easily get lost, especially in steep, slippery terrain with waterfalls and cliffs. Did Kris and Lisanne wander too far and fall into a ravine? Perhaps Kris was injured and Lisanne struggled to find help. Key supporting evidence. Their 911 calls on April 1 suggest they were in distress early on. Over the next 5 to 6 days, their phone activity gradually declined as the batteries drained. The nighttime photos on April 8 might have been an attempt to signal rescuers or simply illuminate their surroundings. Eventually, they ran out of food, became too weak to continue, and perished, either from exhaustion, starvation, or being swept away by the river. When Kris lost consciousness or died first, Lisanne may have used Kris's iPhone but entered the wrong PIN, locking herself out in a moment of panic. This fits a survival scenario. They endured for nearly a week, desperately trying to call for help, but ultimately succumbed to the elements. The lack of violence and the scattered bones also align with natural decomposition and river movement. The only lingering question: why was the backpack dry and intact after 2 months? A possible explanation: it was caught in a dry part of the riverbed, covered in sand, then gradually dried out in the sun before being discovered. The cursed jungle theory, a supernatural explanation. Locals believe the Boquet rainforest and Baru volcano are home to ancient spirits. There have been past cases of hikers vanishing in the jungle, fueling legends of forest ghosts, leading travelers astray, similar to the wandering spirits found in folklore worldwide. On forums like Reddit and Facebook, some users claimed that Kris and Lisanne's nighttime photos captured eerie white figures, or that they heard howling sounds in the jungle. However, these are most likely exaggerations or psychological projections fueled by fear. In reality, the Boquet region is simply harsh and unforgiving, with sudden storms, flash floods, and wild animals posing real dangers. But even today, some mystery enthusiasts prefer to believe the jungle itself played a role in their disappearance. Unanswered questions: why was the backpack so clean and dry? If it had really drifted in the river for 2 months, it should have been torn, soaked, or damaged. Did it land on dry sand? Did someone move it and later discard it? The eerie nighttime photos: why did they take so many pictures on April 8 but not earlier? What were they doing during the first 6 days? Were they moving by day and using the camera flash for light at night? No sign of robbery. Their phones and camera were left behind. If they were attacked, why didn't the perpetrator steal anything? Perhaps they had little cash, or the attacker took what they needed and dumped the rest. Bone decomposition mystery. Kris's bones were found bleached, while Lisanne's still had tissue attached. Why the difference? Was it natural decomposition, animal activity, or human interference? These unresolved details left the case in a strange limbo. Neither a confirmed crime nor a clear accident. The case stalls at 2014 present after the remains were identified. Kris and Lisanne's families held memorial services in the Netherlands, honoring their adventurous spirits. Kris's mother once said, "My daughter left this world in a foreign land, but I hope she found happiness in her final adventure." A heartbreaking yet poetic farewell. Despite questioning several Boquete locals, authorities found no concrete leads. The case was officially classified as undetermined disappearance and death. Crime bloggers and internet sleuths attempted to piece the puzzle together, but no breakthrough ever came. Some argued Boquete's wilderness is unforgiving, similar to a mini Amazon jungle. Getting lost and dying there is sadly not unusual. The creepy details, night photos, the backpack, scattered bones, were exaggerated by internet speculation. In reality, Kris and Lisanne likely died due to natural causes, flash floods, starvation, or falls. The backpack simply landed in a dry area and was later found intact. However, the media sensationalized the case, fueled by the idea that two young, beautiful European women vanished while chasing a dream. The public wanted a mystery, so the case became a blend of crime, survival horror, and supernatural speculation. The three main theories revisited: true crimer, no suspects, no physical evidence, only speculation; accident, lost in the jungle; injured, struggled to survive, eventually died, fits most clues; supernatural, some believe the Boquete jungle claimed them, but there's no real proof. These theories intertwined, creating a legendary mystery that gained momentum with the rise of internet storytelling at 2015. To this day, opinions remain divided. Many believe it was just an unfortunate accident. Others insist foul play was involved. A few still entertain the eerie possibility that the jungle itself took them. A haunting travel warning. Beyond the mystery, the case serves as a cautionary tale for adventure travelers. The Boquete region, though a popular trekking spot, can be extremely dangerous. Hikers should always bring a guide, a map, a charged phone, and GPS. In rural Central America, cell service is unreliable and emergency help is hard to reach. Many inexperienced backpackers underestimate nature. Kris and Lisanne were young, ambitious, and eager to explore. But they forgot how unforgiving the jungle can be. The price they paid was tragic. 2 lives lost in the wilderness. By 2025, it has now been 11 years since Kris Kremers Lisanne Froon disappeared. There have been no new reports, no suspects arrested, and no definitive answers. The Boquete rainforest continues to attract tourists, while the case itself has faded into legend. Perhaps we will never know the full truth, except for those who were there that day. And sadly, those 2 girls can no longer tell their story. A final reflection, regardless of the truth. Their story is a reminder that adventure requires caution. Nature is both beautiful and deadly, and mysteries like this leave us with more questions than answers. For now, this case closes with scattered bones, fading memories, and a storm of speculation. All we can hope for is that Kris and Lisanne rest in peace, and that their families find closure someday. And for us, those who love a good mystery, This case will forever be an haunting chapter in backpacking history, leaving us all to wonder what really happened to Kris and Lisanne. Thank you for watching. If you have thoughts or theories, drop them in the comments below. I'm Editor Channel Nami, wishing you a safe day. And remember, if you ever find yourself in the Boquit jungle, bring a map, a GPS, and always stay cautious, because the jungle may still hold secrets it has yet to reveal.